Hi and welcome back to Celebrity Goddess Oracle. So as you know, if you watch my channel, I love to use the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. So today we're going to look at a reading for Johnny Depp. So this is a viewer request and also a viewer request for sort of Amber Heard as well. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to do a reading for Johnny Depp first and then see what that brings up and then do a separate reading for Amber. And you know, depending on the outcome of that, we might do a joint reading or we might not have to. So let's dive in and see what's going on around Johnny Depp. There's so much around him at the moment, isn't there? I think what I've seen in the news is that, isn't there a sort of a court hearing or something where she's accused him and of sort of physically mistreating her and sorry, two cards here, and the same with him, you know, in relation to her. Okay. So let's connect into, oh, right, okay. The cards are just jumping out, right? And see what's going on around him at the moment. Okay, right, interesting. Okay. It's very hard to tell from the outside, isn't there? So, right, what's going on around them. But I think, you know, whichever way it is, it doesn't look good from either side, does it? That's the reality of it. Okay, right. And one more. Okay, perfect. Right, and okay. One more for here, and then we're going to actually read this for Johnny. Okay, wow, okay, we're going to take this first one that came out. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the feeling I get when I connect into him, I'm going to sort of, where I'm going to start is I want to sort of start here and work backwards actually, which is, you know, sometimes where it happens, and I just have to go where I feel, where I feel that I should go actually. Okay, so this is a person who has got a lot of, how do I put it? This is all focused on internal work here actually. This is all to do with his, you know, where he's at in his actual personal life in relationship to himself actually. So sometimes, you know, work comes up, sometimes it doesn't. And in this reading, this is very clearly a reading about sort of his personal state of mind and his personal life and where that's at the moment. So, like I said, we're going to work backwards. So this is a guy who, you know, I say unfortunately, and it is unfortunate. I get this, you know, when we'll look into this card here, I get this sense of addiction. I mean, I know that it's something that's been talked about in the media, but you know, definitely you can sort of see this with this card here, this addiction. This is somebody who is very. I'm going to pull another card, so I'm going to use a different deck actually. So the Daily Guidance from Your Angels Oracle cards, this is what I'm going to use. I'm going to pull a card. I'm going to pull another card for this here actually. So let's just do that whilst we jump into this. So yeah, in this reading, this is addiction for Johnny. He's this is a serious, you know, as I sort of connect into his energy, his addiction is a serious addiction. You know, this is the feeling that I get around him. You know, some people it's sort of like, how do I put it? It's not that addiction is never not serious, but with some people, you know, they're not so deeply in the throes of it. You know, the feeling I get when I connect in here is that that's not the case. You know, there's this real need for him to be honest with himself. So this is the card that came out here, and also Law of Attraction. So what does Law of Attraction and this mean here? Well, this is a really interesting reading actually. So this is a guy who needs to actually create in order for him to get to this purified state, in order for him to overcome his demons, and as I connected, I feel he's got many of them. He needs to create space for this. He needs to create space for this. And he needs to be honest with himself. He needs to be honest with himself. This is something that's going to take a great deal of focused intention. He has to come to this with honesty and with a recognition that this needs to come to an end. You know, that this needs to come to an end, and that there's this inner wisdom that's going to guide this, and that this will bring this peace when he gets there. And that the law of attraction in this reading is to do with, like, the amount of effort you put in is what you'll get out. And so he needs to, as he goes along, recognize his progress. So the reward yourself card here is not about rewarding as such, but it's actually about recognizing, you know, this progress through this focused intention here. And when I draw into this, you know, I just get this is a man who he's tortured. You know, he is absolutely, he's tortured by his, you know, all I can feel when I connect into him is this sort of utter feeling of confusion and disorientation. And it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for him to overcome this. I'm not sure where he's at on this pathway. I don't actually feel, I get this feeling that he's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out of actually addressing this. But I don't feel, you know, when I actually connect into his energy, I don't feel he's fully committed to this yet. Maybe the outcome of what's going on with Amber Heard is going to force him to deal with this. Maybe the court will force him to deal with this, and this is when this process is going to start. Because it's not that he's not aware of this, but, you know, as I connect in here, I just feel like that he hasn't made this commitment. He hasn't made this commitment, you know, of being honest with himself and actually, you know, moving on this pathway. I can see him doing it. I can see him doing it, but I can see here as well that, you know, we're going to go, I think, you know, we're going to go through, it's going to be cyclical. So we're going to go round and round and round in circles. It's going to take an awful lot to actually get there at the end. You know, this is a man, until he deals with this, he cannot focus on his work the way it deserves to be focused on. Actually, this is a man who really, you know, is at a point where he hasn't really got, I hate to say it, when I look at this, he hasn't got any other option. You know, he's run out of options. He cannot continue this way, and he won't be allowed, you know, I don't think he's going to be allowed to continue this way. There is going to be intervention, you know, and he's going to be put into the situation where he's made to do this. The good news, look, you know, as you know, I like to, even with challenges, I like to focus on the positive, because there's always light. You know, we are guided, you know, by light. We are light. So, you know, I do and it's unusual. So it's unusual to really read backwards, but this is what we're doing here. And, you know, when he does get to the end of this process, then let's wish him, you know, let's hope that is the case. Then, you know, he's going to step into his true self. He's going to step into his true self. With this is almost like being baptized and being born again. And I don't mean in a religious sense. So please don't take it like in the sense that, you know, it is to do with religion. I mean, if you are religious, then, you know, it could be that. But this is not this meaning. This is about getting another opportunity and leaving all of this behind. And when he does, this is when we're going to see his new work. You know, it's perfect time. So he's going to give birth to new conditions and new ideas, and he will. I think this is going to be like, I get this like feeling of Phoenix energy when he gets to this point here. You know, when he gets to this point here, when he's beyond this ending and beginning, because we're going to go, you know, when I see this, I hate to say it, I see multiple times. You know, more than 3, more than 4, 5, you know, like we're talking this many times. This is because the depths of what's going on with Johnny is significant. It's really significant actually when I connect into his energy. You know, he's very disconnected to himself and disconnected to reality and his body and situations. It's like he's completely outside of himself actually when I connect into his energy. So let's have a look at the wild unknown animal spirit. We're going to look at his we're going to actually pull a couple cards for his animal totem energy, see what else comes up. Love this deck. It's by Kim Kranz, as you know if you watch my channel. I adore this. So let's just connect in and see what comes up for Johnny Depp. I sound a bit, you know, as I connect in. Oh, okay, first one out. Okay, so dear. So as I connect in with his energy, I do feel this incredible sense of, oh wow, that's just flown out of the deck. Sadness actually with him, you know, disorientation and, oh wow, okay, we're just going to go with those two then. Okay, energy and raccoon energy. So we've got the deer here, the turtle and the raccoon and the crow together. So, okay, let's have a look. Where do I want to start with this? Where do I want to start? It's interesting. Okay, so let's start. I think actually today we're going to start at the top. We're going to start with the deer. So, you know, this is, I actually don't know Johnny Depp's background and his relationship, but I feel that this, with his parents is what I mean actually, let me be specific, with family and his parents. I get a feeling connecting to this that some of his issues is connected specifically with his mother. And I'm not sure, I could be off with that. So if you're a fan, maybe you'll know that and you could leave a comment below. You know, but this is about compassion in this reading. This is about compassion and about as he deals with this, being receptive. You know, being receptive and being honest with himself. Actually, as he progresses, actually making sure that he recognizes his progress as he progresses in dealing with these situations. And, you know, the good sign of this overall energy is actually connected to this overall outcome, which is that, you know, when he actually completes this and he goes through this, there will be a new beginning for him. You know, there will be not only a new beginning, but also a new life for him. So it's a good sign. You know, it is a good sign in relation to that. It does connect. You know, the turtle energy here, this is connected with being honest with yourself. You know, turtles there's a sort of like idea that, you know, turtles stick their head in their shell and they don't actually want to look too closely at things with this energy. But, you know, this is about grounding and being truthful. You know, being honest with yourself. It comes back to this, and that's very clear in this card and this energy that it's something that he actually, you know, needs to do. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. I've got a crow card here, and the crow is actually crowing outside, so I don't know if you can actually hear that or not. Oh, okay, so the raccoon card. So this is a guy, you know, the raccoon card is about somebody who's got immense talent, but is actually hiding, you know, hiding from themselves, hiding from the truth, you know, limiting their progress because of that. And that's something, you know, but very talented, you know, as Johnny Depp is undoubtedly an incredibly talented man. You know, we've seen him in so many amazing movies, depending on, you know, what your taste is and what you like. I mean, Edward Scissorhand, going back in time, if you haven't watched that. Pirates of the Caribbean. I remember him when we're going way back, 21 Jump Street. You know, some of you would be far too young to remember him when he was in that. But, you know, the thing is, with sort of this, you know, shadowy raccoon in hiding energy. Hello, Mr. Crow. Oh, he's okay, so that's so funny. So the crow energy here. So the great thing about this is about him actually coming out this other end and being spiritually strong and, you know, coming out of hiding, coming out of this, not recognizing yourself, being gentle, and actually, you know, becoming stronger for it, and actually becoming grounded. You know, this is about balance. This is about creating balance. This is about having balance in life and all the things that come with it. So, you know, and the other part that the crow energy brings with it is one of, you know, magic transformation. You know, as low as these, then there is going to be lows in here. I think we're actually, you know, when I connect into this energy, there already is a lot of lows actually here. But, you know, with this crow energy, this is sort of the coming out of the other side. This is the coming into themselves. This is about being, you know, having a second chance, about recreating new and positive situations and conditions for himself, and then moving forward in his work and how that's reflected. So I do see a positive outcome for him, but there is an awful lot of work that's going to need to be done in order for him to get there. So let's wish him all the very best. We will do a reading for Amber Heard and you know, see sort of where her energy sits with this. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you'd like to like, share and subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. We're all gods and goddesses in our own lives. I do personal readings. If that would be of interest to you, please reach out and connect. In the meantime, I'm sending you all my love. Make sure you look after yourselves. Make sure you look after each other. And thanks so much for watching Celebrity Goddess Oracle.